Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's talk about this one here. We're going to talk about finals career clutch stats. Okay, not the last 2 minutes, not the last 30 seconds. The finals is in the clutch. All stats in the finals is the clutch, right? More clutch. All your stats is more clutch than the playoff stats, the regular season stats, longevity stats, right? This is what made who in NBA history. This is what made the best players in NBA history in the NBA finals, right? It has nothing to do with you losing and your competition was better. None of that, right? It's always been about winning. But first, let me say this. Some people might have seen this image before. I make all my images, right? I used to battle these fools in these debate rooms, and I used to shatter them. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the times, all they can do is type words, and all they can say is words, and they have nothing to back up what they're talking about, or they will go and get someone else's meme that has zero context to it, right? So I started my own images with my context to it, and that's how I started battling these fools. So again, if you've seen this before, it was probably on Too Raw for Sports video, which I gave it to him for him to put it up on his platform, his channel, before I even had a channel. Now, I gave him a lot of images too, but I'm going to tell you what, Too Raw was not looking for these images, right? He was not begging me for these images. I gave him these images because I wanted to put them on his platform, and some people might have seen it and some people not, because YouTube is pretty big. So, I like Too Raw for Sports because he's a guy that a lot of people have video requests, and he follows through, and he'll put them on there and stuff like that. I don't think he'll put them all on there if they're not important. He didn't put all mine on there. He put some of them on there, but shouts out to Too Raw for Sports for doing that. And this is a dagger in LeBron's coffin, right? Dagger to the vampire, right? Because when you bring up the NBA finals, I'm talking about that's light to a vampire. It's like garlic to a vampire. It's the dagger in the heart to the vampire. That's the only way you can kill him. With a dagger in the heart, daylight, and garlic. Maybe garlic might just, chase him away, right? Maybe daylight might chase him away. But the vampire doesn't like these things. And LeBron is a vampire to the NBA finals. So let's get into this. Because as we knew for a long time, until LeBron became 4-6 in the finals, after that, the finals didn't matter. It mattered about your opponents. How many times you got beat by your opponents? How good were your opponents, right? Their athleticism, what year they played in, this type of stuff. It wasn't about what you did in the finals, your stats. Remember, they don't bring up any of his stats in the NBA finals that we're about to go over because he doesn't come out on top when it comes to Michael Jordan. He just doesn't. So let's go over these real quick. Finals career clutch stats, right? And we're talking about what happened in the finals and everything. Per game, kind of like opponents, since he wants to talk about that. So rings, Jordan 6, LeBron 4. Finals MVP, Jordan 6, LeBron 4. Losses, Jordan 0, LeBron 6. Swept in the NBA Finals, Jordan 0, LeBron 2. Points per game, Jordan 33, LeBron 28. So let's stop it right there. Because us guys, we know the guys that watched in 80s and 90s, the defense is weak, okay? So we don't consider his competition good competition. It's weak, okay? It's just about who can score the most in the NBA Finals, okay? Now, he did play some teams with, defense based on this era, but if you take away the defense starting in 2005 compared to the defense in prior seasons, right? The early 2000s, before they changed it, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, It's going to make these guys in the LeBron era, the 210s, in this era, look like they're better players. You know, they took the hurdle away, right? It's like two runners running on the track. One has to have a hurdle, the other one doesn't. And then when the one that wins, that he doesn't have a hurdle and he wins, we say, hey man, this guy is so great. He's the greatest player ever. Look at the stats he put up. Right? And then from then on, all the guys after him run on the track without a hurdle, right? We say, man, these guys were just better than the previous guys with the hurdle, right? But we don't really say that, right? We just say, man, these guys are better than the previous runners, right? They're trying to see how dumb you really are. And the people who acknowledge that, you're dumb too. And these are people who, old heads too, people who are getting paid millions of dollars to lie. To lie. Not only the people who say LeBron is the GOAT, but the people who and say this era is better, but the guys who actually put LeBron as number two, like the Stephen A. Smiths, the the Rob Parkers, the Chris Broussards, these type of guys who put LeBron number two, right? Or even put this era or the 2010s anywhere close to the 80s and 90s, who had to play with the hurdle in front of them, right? So that's why I don't respect none of the ESPN people or the Fox Sports people, because you got to remember Fox and ESPN is owned by the same people, Disney. So they have to push the NBA, right? Because they're paid by the NBA. So there's no truth to this stuff. And when you put all these people that work for Clutch Sports that's on Fox Sports, right? In ESPN, none of this is true. It's like a reality show. That's all it is, right? And they're lying straight to your face. They're not telling you anything that we're telling you. All they do is bring on these big personalities, right? That can say all these big words. They're intelligent. They were sports beat writers and all this stuff. So you get lost in the reality of what the reality is, right? That's what happens. And nobody's there to really challenge these guys, right? Because they're on TV and they're making millions of dollars, and you can't challenge these guys. Only people who can challenge them is, people on YouTube that aren't dumb. And we can go back and look at the 80s, 90s. We can look at stats. We can look at these people's actual play. We can see that the LeBron era guys got destroyed by international players two times in '04 and '06 FIBA, right? So there's no way that these guys can ever be on the 80s and 90s level. I don't care if you put those 80s and 90s guys, right, at the same age as LeBron, in his LeBron era guys in '04 and '06, right? Put them at the same age. Jordan, Barkley, Larry Bird, even Kareem, Moses Malone, Dominique Wilkins, Malone, did I say Malone already? Stockton, you could even throw in Pippen, right? These 80s and 90s guys, Hakeem, you put them at the same age as LeBron in '04. His guys that played in the Olympics. I know LeBron was a little bit younger, but like I said, you guys said he was the chosen one. He was the king. He had all these expectations. He was the next Michael Jordan, the greatest thing to come into the league, and you had to skip high school, so you got expectations, right? You put chosen one on your back. You have all these expectations to live up to, right? So you want us to feel sorry for you because you played a whole NBA season and was a minus 144 and shot 41% from the field as a layup artist? And you didn't get in the '04 Olympic Games that Manu Ginobili, a six-man, won with his team from Argentina? And 99.9% of all international players back then in those Olympic Games wasn't even on an NBA roster. So again, like I tell you in my previous videos, if the world caught up to you then, you're garbage. You're garbage. It's over, right? You go to the '06 FIBA, LeBron is coming off like 36 a game, 37-7. Finally made the playoffs for once. After they changed the defensive rules, he makes the playoffs, and then boom. Right? He's got Melo. He's got more years in. Wade coming off a championship, a Finals MVP. Chris Bosh is in there. You got who you got? You got Chris Paul. You got a whole slew of dudes, and you get the bronze. Couldn't even place for a silver medal, right? So again, bring the Jordan era guys or any 80s and 90s guys in at that same time with LeBron James in the LeBron era guys was that same age, they will smoke that '06 FIBA cast that was in the international games. I'm talking about the international players that LeBron and the LeBron era guys was playing against. Stop the excuses. If you say the world caught up to you again in '06, it's over. You could never compare the 80s and the 90s to any LeBron era. And then these guys come over eventually and start taking over, right? We're not just talking about Europeans. We're talking about Canadians. We're talking about a whole slew of guys that came over since the 2010s all the way until now in the 2020s that took over the NBA that because American players couldn't carry the game, right? They came in because there's no defense, and LeBron is a prime example of this. In the '04 FIBA, '06 FIBA, and the '04 Olympics, right? And throughout his entire career, right? Going to build super teams because his shortcomings. So let's get back into this. LeBron, 28 points per game. Jordan, 33 points per game in every finals. And let me say this. LeBron has been in 10 finals, Jordan in 6 finals. So LeBron should be clearing Jordan on all this, right? I'm not trying to say he should have 10 rings. Well, then he should have about 8 rings, right? He should at least have 8 rings if Jordan has 6, right? So assists per game. LeBron 7 and Jordan 6. I thought LeBron was this great playmaker, right? Great playmaker. Has 1 more assist than Michael Jordan. Wow. Rebounds per game. Jordan 6, LeBron 10. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. And we know once he got to Cleveland, what happened. Especially in the 17 and the 18 finals, he stat padded while he got blew out in those rebounds, right? Nevertheless, I give him credit for that. Steals per game. Close here. Jordan, 1.8. LeBron, 1.7. Blocks per game. Jordan, 0.7. LeBron, 0.8. This shouldn't even be close. It should be nowhere close right here, okay? LeBron should... Turnovers per game. Jordan, 2.8. LeBron, 3.9. Field goal percentage. Wow. 48% for LeBron, 48% for Jordan. What are we talking about here? You're telling me this guy shot 48% in a career from the field, LeBron? And Jordan shot 48% too? LeBron, you're shooting what a guard should be shooting. Especially when you go, I got a video coming up on this NBA final shot chart. LeBron, right? Oh, you're going to like this. And you're going to see why he shot 48% from the field, because in the mid-range, it's horrible. From the three-point, it's horrible. Wow. And we're going to get down to that in a minute. 3-point percentage. Jordan, 36. LeBron, 35. I thought LeBron was a better 3-point shooter than Jordan. In the first 3 finals, Jordan shot like over 50% twice and 46% another time, right? Jordan was cooking. And like I said in my other videos, this guy is going to try to separate himself. Once he got to his first NBA Finals, he was going to separate himself with his averages, his iconic plays, the three-peat, the least amount of help, less help than LeBron, Magic, Kareem, Russell, who else? Shaq, Kobe, all these guys, as far as winning 3 championships in a row, he was going to separate himself. And then in the second three-peat, the same thing too. You could say Dennis Rodman, but he was never a number 1 franchise player on any team. LeBron has had a number one franchise player 13 times. A number one franchise player from another team 13 times in his career. Imagine that. A number one option from another team, a franchise player that was a top 5 pick in the first round. Jordan, 0. Pippen is not a number one franchise player, right? He got picked in the top 5, but no, he wasn't a number one. Where was he a number one at? We can just go. I want to finish this video. I got a video on that if you want to check it out. Meltdowns. LeBron 2, Jordan 0. Now, I would consider 2015 a meltdown when you're shooting 39% from the field. What was it, like 31% from 3? It might have been worse. 63% from the line, like 5 turnovers a game. I don't care if you grab 35 points per game. That's a meltdown, bro. Percentages? It's a meltdown. It wasn't just 2011 and 07. It was 2015 too. Just because Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt, that don't mean you got to shoot a brick fest and get shut down by Iguodala, right? Does that mean that? Imagine Jordan getting shut down by a role player, and this role player wins the Finals MVP. That's insane. And Bruce Bowen, right? Bruce Bowen he didn't win an MVP, but he shut LeBron down in 2007. 30-point games in the finals. Jordan 17, LeBron 13. This shouldn't even be close. 10 finals, and he didn't pass Jordan. Lost with a super team. Jordan 0, LeBron 5. 50-point games, right? Jordan 2, LeBron 1. 40-point games. Jordan 5, LeBron 7. Finally got one again. Hit game winners. Jordan 2, LeBron 0. Game 7s. Jordan 0, LeBron 2. Let's see. Played versus top 75 players. Jordan 7, LeBron 7. Finals record. Jordan 24 and 11. LeBron 22 and 13, bro. Can you even get 500 in that? That's crazy. Hall of Fame teammates. Jordan 4, LeBron 7. Woof. This dude didn't have no help, and his competition was so great, right? Should it be more that LeBron had? I don't know. Jordan 4, LeBron 7. Shot under 40%. Let me see. 4, 7. I think this is wrong. Jordan 0, LeBron 3, but I think it's only 2. 07 and for the series. What was it? 07 and 15, right? So I think that's only 2. Let me know if it's more. I thought it was 3 at the time. I thought he shot under 40%. When was that? In the Miami series, but he didn't. So this is what it is. Finals career clutch stats. That's why the LeBron fans, they don't want to talk about the finals. Winning. We ain't here to win, bro. Remember, imagine these companies out here that say we don't want to be successful. What do you want to do? We just want to we just want to be in the industry. We don't want to be successful. Wow. And that's what separated Bill Russell from Wilt Chamberlain, because Russell, he was making sure nobody else got it, right? You can give a credit to Wilt Chamberlain because he did get one ring during that Celtics era in the 60s. But Bill Russell wanted it better, wanted it more, right? Like that 69 game, the Lakers against the Celtics, the Lakers owner was celebrating, talking cash-ish before game 7, and Bill Russell found out about it. The balloons were already at top, all this stuff, and man, Bill Russell came out there and the rest of his team and shut that down because they wasn't supposed to win that game. They weren't supposed to win that game. They was old. You got Elgin Baylor, you got Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, this super team right here, and they shut them boys. I wouldn't say they shut them down, but the big thing is Wilt got hurt at the end. Um, but yeah, they went out there and knocked them boys off, and that's Bill Russell will always be celebrated for that. That he wasn't taking no ish. Kind of like the video I made where you know Jordan took it personal and got revenge. That's what Bill Russell did, right? He took it personal, got revenge. So you guys tell me what you think because this is looking ugly. I mean, I don't know what the LeBron fans really play for or if they even play the sport because I thought it was about winning. And I don't know why LeBron was crying a lot of times when he lost in the NBA Finals when the series was over. I thought he wasn't playing to win. And then when he wins, he's the greatest of all time. So tell me what you think.